Good morning students, welcome to Royal Palace College online classes. So in the previous class I was taking about the synopsis of for the important concepts of that is this one relative lowering of vapor pressure and the other concepts molarity, molality and all. Okay. Today let's continue with the remaining part of the chapter. We will have some fast revision of that. Then from next class onwards we will try to solve the questions based on solutions topic. So till last class I said you about relative lowering of vapor pressure. So what is Raoult's law? Raoult's law say that Raoult's law say that relate partial pressure of the components is directly proportional to mole fraction of the component. That we are writing it as P partial pressure is equal to pure vapor pressure into mole fraction. This you know, we have seen according to Raoult's law. Now, when two volatile liquids are mixed, we have seen that component 1, this is Pa, partial pressure of A, partial pressure of pure vapor pressure of A, mole fraction of A. That derivation thing we have done. Then now we are going to study about colligative properties. Colligative properties. Now what are colligative properties? The properties which are dependent upon the number of moles of solute present in the solution is called as colligative property. In this we are going to study about 4 properties. RLVP. RLVP means relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, and osmotic pressure. Now what is RLVP? Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Basically, when a non-volatile solute is added to solvent, okay? I said you in the previous diagram like this. Assume that this is pure solvent and solvent is volatile in nature. Means vapor pressure of solvent and vapor, same thing, it is solvent only present in liquid state. Okay, vapor state and liquid state, let us assume. Now I added some non-volatile solute. So what happens now? The fraction of the molecules at the surface changes. That is now some of the molecules that are present at the surface will be solvent plus solute molecules. So solute is non-volatile, solvent is volatile. Means what here also pressure will be there, but the pressure of pure solvent will be greater than that of the pressure of solution. Pressure of pure solvent will be greater than that of pressure of solution. Why? Because solute is non-volatile. So initially there is no solute, so all the molecules tendency to escape into the vapor state, so vapor pressure will be more. But once you add any solute which is non-volatile, so the fraction of molecules molecules covering the surface decreases. Due to that, the tendency of that molecules into the vapor state also decreases. So the fraction decreases. Automatically vapor pressure of solution decreases. So vapor pressure of the solution is less than the vapor pressure of the solvent. This concept only we are calling it as lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure. So what is lowering of vapor pressure? When a non-volatile solute is added to volatile solvent, the pressure gets decreased. That is nothing but lowering of vapor pressure. It can be indicated by the formula P naught minus Ts. So how much it is lowered or how much it is decreased given by initial pressure minus final pressure. Initial pressure P naught, final pressure Ps. Which is greater? Initial pressure is greater, final pressure is lesser. So how much it is decreased? P naught minus Ps terms. Right? Now here we are talking about relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering of vapor pressure. Now what is relative lowering of vapor pressure means? Vapor pressure decreases, there is no doubt, but relative to the initial pressure or the pressure of the pure solvent, how much it is decreased is nothing but relative lowering of vapor pressure. Lowering of vapor pressure means P naught minus Ps. But relative to the vapor pressure of the pure solvent, how much pressure is decreased is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. And it is given by the formula P naught minus Ps by P naught. Okay? Vapor pressure is lowered, but relative to which one we are studying? Relative to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. So this is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. And we are saying that relative lowering of vapor pressure is a colligative property. Colligative property means what? It depends upon the number of moles of solute particles in the solution. So, according to Raoult, relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction of solute. Mole fraction of solute. Or let me take this as 2. Mole fraction of solute 2. Then relative lowering of vapor pressure P naught minus Ps by P naught is equal to N2 by N1 plus N2. Mole fraction of component 2 is equal to number of moles of component 2 by total number of moles. Then for dilute solutions, means N2 is less than that of N1. So in the denominator we can neglect N2. That means here what I can write from this is P naught minus Ps by P naught is equal to N2 by N1. What is N2? Number of moles of solute. What is N1? Number of moles of solvent. Let me convert it to weight by molecular weight. So P naught minus Ps by P naught is equal to what is N2? Weight of component 2 by molecular weight of component 2. What is N1? Weight of component 1 solvent by weight of molecular weight of component 1 solvent. So finally you can write P naught minus Ps by P naught is equal to W2 by M2 into m1 by w1. m1 by w1. This is relative lowering of hypertrophy. By using this, you can calculate the molecular mass of the solute. Molecular mass of the solute. Okay. Then, based on this Raoult's law, solutions are classified into two types: ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. Ideal solutions and non-ideal solutions. So the solutions that obey Raoult's law at all conditions of temperature and concentration are called ideal solutions. What are non-ideal solutions? Means the solutions that does not obey Raoult's law at all conditions of temperature and concentration. And again, non-ideal solutions are classified into two types. Okay, non-ideal solutions with positive deviations. Non-ideal solutions with positive deviations and non-ideal solutions with negative deviations. Okay. Now, non-ideal solution with positive deviation and negative deviation comparatively we will study. But basically, what is meant by positive deviation and what is meant by negative deviation means, if the pressure exerted by the solution is greater than that of the expected pressure according to Raoult's law, then such sort of solution is called non-ideal solution with positive deviation. That we represent it partial pressure of component A is greater than that of its pure vapor pressure into mole fraction, and partial pressure of component B is also greater than that of the mole fraction of B into pure solvent. Okay. Here, if the pressure expected is less than that of the actual pressure, then it is negative deviation. Okay. Then why actually pressure is more? Why pressure is more in these solutions? Because here the interaction between solute to solvent particles is weaker than solute interactions and solvent interactions. The interactions between or the attraction between solute solvent particles is less than that of solute and solvent particles. Here why the pressure is less means, here the interaction between solvent solute particles is stronger than solvent and solute interactions. Okay. Then some other features of ideal positive deviation and negative deviation. Here delta H mixture means change in enthalpy of the mixture is zero. Delta H mixture is greater than zero. Okay. Here delta H mixture is less than zero means it is like endothermic, negative deviation. Here delta B mixture is greater than zero. Here delta B mixture is less than zero. Okay. And the solutions with positive deviation forms minimum boiling point minimum boiling point, azeotropic mixtures, minimum boiling point azeotropes are formed. Here maximum boiling point azeotropes are formed. Azeotropic mixtures. Okay, formed. Some examples here is acetone mixed with carbon disulfide, benzene, acetone benzene mixture, or you can say benzene plus carbon disulfide mixture. Examples here: HCl plus water or HFO3 plus water. Okay, these are some examples. Okay, so this is about the non-ideal solutions with positive and negative deviation. Next property, elevation in the boiling point. Next property is elevation in boiling point. So what is elevation in boiling point means? Increasing in the boiling point of the solution by mixing of non-volatile solute is called elevation in the boiling point. Elevation in boiling point is represented with symbol delta TB. Okay. Now this I'll make you study comparatively with the depression in the freezing point simultaneously. This is second property. This is third property. Depression in the freezing point. Elevation in boiling point delta TB is directly proportional to molality of the solution. Okay, so whenever you add non-volatile solute to volatile solvent, what will happen? Boiling point increases. Boiling point of solution increases. And since elevation in boiling point is correlative property, it is directly proportional to molality of the solution. Okay. Now I can write from here delta TB is equal to Kb into molarity. Kb into molarity means proportionality is removed, you get a constant. Here Kb is called as molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. Okay, molar elevation constant or ebullioscopic constant. Okay, and unit of this is Kelvin kg per mole. Kelvin kg per mole, kV units. Okay. Similarly, depression in freezing point is also colligative property and it is proportional to molarity. Now what is the depression in freezing point? Decrease in the freezing point of the solution by the addition of non-volatile solute is called as depression in freezing point. Depression is decreasing. Elevation is increasing. So boiling point of solution is increased. Freezing point of solution is decreased. Okay. So these two properties are like simultaneously are same effect by addition of non-volatile solute to a given solvent. So I can write here delta TF is equal to Kf into molarity, where Kf is called as molar depression constant or cryoscopic constant. Units remain same. Units are same. Okay. Now, if I substitute molarity formula, delta Tb should be written as delta Tb is equal to Kb into what is molarity? Weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent in grams. Similarly, I substitute molarity here. Delta Tf is equal to Kf into weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by weight of solvent in grams. So this is about the formulas. Okay, and both Kb and Kf depends upon nature of solvent. Nature of solvent. They are constants for solvents only. Okay. So we have another formula for Kb and Kf in this. Kb is equal to delta H, okay, vaporization into 1000. This is one formula to calculate Kb. Okay, what is Kb? It is Kb and Kf both are dependent on solvent only. So it is molecular weight of solvent into boiling point of pure solvent whole square into R is universal gas constant divided by enthalpy of vaporization into 1000 is the formula for Kb. Similarly, Kf also depends on only solvent. So this one molecular weight of solvent into pure freezing point for pure solvent into gas constant by delta H fusion. Delta H fusion into 1000. Okay. So this is the relative formulas with respect to elevation in boiling point and depression in freezing point. And elevation in boiling point delta Tb is given by formula. I said you it is increasing in the boiling point. Increasing in the boiling point of what solution. So that means if I consider Tb is the boiling point of solution, then T naught B will be the boiling point of solvent. So solution boiling point is greater than solvent boiling point. Elevated means increased. Which increased? Solution boiling point increased. So solution boiling point minus solvent boiling point. I can also write like this: delta Tf is equal to here what is happening? Depression in freezing point. Depression of water, freezing point of solution means freezing point of solvent is greater than that of the freezing point of solution. So that means freezing point of pure solvent minus freezing point of solution. Next property, osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure, what is osmosis? The movement of the solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is called as osmosis. That you know. What is osmotic pressure? The pressure that just stops the flow of solvent molecules from lower concentration to higher concentration, or the pressure that just stops the process of osmosis is called as osmotic pressure, and it is given by symbol pi. Okay. Osmotic pressure is also what? It is also colligative property, and osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration and temperature. Okay. Concentration basically you will take here molarity. So pi is equal to R into mt. I am writing R is a universal gas constant by removing direct proportionality. So pi is equal to mtr. You can write like that. Okay. So here osmotic pressure formula is this one, and if you want to substitute molarity, you can substitute it weight of solute by molecular weight of solute into 1000 by volume of solvent in ml into RT. That is molarity formula we substituted. And in this we need to remember one thing. Whenever any two solutions have same osmotic pressure, then that solutions are called as isotonic or isotonic solutions or isoosmotic solutions. The solutions that contain same osmotic pressure. Okay. Then if there is a difference in the osmotic pressure, that is either pi 1 is greater than pi 2 or pi 2 is greater than pi 1, the solution with higher osmotic pressure is called hypertonic solution. The solution with lower osmotic pressure is called hypotonic solution. Clear? Relatively, if any solution is having higher osmotic pressure, then it is hypertonic solution. If any solution is having lower osmotic pressure, then it is hypotonic solution. This same thing we applied for RBC placed in different saline solutions, different concentration. When RBC is placed, RBC actually is having a 0.9% that osmotic NaCl concentration, weight by volume will be there. Okay. So whenever RBC is placed in hypotonic solution, that means less than 0.9% saline condition, if it is placed in hypotonic solution. So what will happen actually, since osmotic pressure inside the cell is greater than that of the osmotic pressure outside the cell, okay, then what should happen? Solvent particles from outside the solution should move into the cell, and swelling of the cell should take place. That swelling of the cells we calling it as hemolysis. And if the same cell it is not only RBC, you can take any cell, we place it in hypertonic. Hypertonic means osmotic pressure is greater than that of this one. Concentration is more outside the cell. Now the solvent molecules move from inside to outside, means cell starts shrinking. That process is called as plasmolysis. Okay. So that is about osmotic pressure concept. Then we have another concept here that is called abnormal abnormal molar mass. Abnormal molar mass. Now what is meaning of abnormal molar mass means, see, if any particular solute is given to us, when it is dissolved in the solution, if it will not undergo any association or dissociation, then its molar mass is said to be normal molar mass. But if there is any electrolyte, when it is dissolved in the water, if it undergo dissociation, then you will get two particles from one particle. Okay, dissociation. This is a dissociation. Similarly, if you take acetic acid molecules, two molecules let us take, considering, once they are dissolved, what will happen here due to the presence of this polar nature bonding here, what will happen here? Hydrogen bonding between two molecules can take place, and this total molecule behaves as a single unit. Means two molecules now started behaving as single molecule. This is association. Association means they are associating together. Dissociation means they are dividing into two parts. So whenever association or dissociation is involved in electrolytes, then the observed molar mass or the molar mass will be called abnormal molar mass. Why? Because there is either one molecule is behaving as two individual species, or two species are behaving as one species. So automatically the observed molar masses will be changed. So for that, Van 't Hoff introduced one factor to correct this masses, that is I. Van 't Hoff factor I is given by the formula normal molar mass by abnormal molar mass. Normal molar mass by abnormal molar mass, or it is also given like this: number of particles, number of moles, okay, of particles after association or dissociation, okay, by number of moles of particles, okay, before association or dissociation, okay. So there are again different formulas for this, and you need to remember that alpha value is less than 1 for association. Okay, alpha value is greater than 1 for dissociation. Sorry, I value is less than 1 for association, I value is less than 1 for dissociation. Okay, and based on I value you can calculate degree of dissociation and also association. That we will discuss in the numerical problems. Okay, so with this the synopsis part we have completed. To in the next class onwards we will start with the numerical numerical problems. Thank you.